Joined by Dave Jamieson now, who is with the Alumni, obviously longtime Eskimo, now Elk. JMO, this is a nice celebration, obviously. I look at this and I go, this might help bridge the divide between the old generation and era of Elks Eskimo fan to the new generation. How do you look at this 75th?
In the same way, because 75, it's a momentous occasion for any business, let alone a sports franchise. And the idea of bridging, I mean, we're going to have representation during these celebrations from all of the decades.
Right.
And you don't often get opportunities during the course of a franchise's time to bring everyone together. We're all united under green and gold. But this is not just a history lesson. You know, it's yes, acknowledge the great things that have happened here, but also look ahead to what's, you know, an exciting future for this franchise.
JMO, you've seen this organization at its heights. You've seen what it's gone through the last little while. Are you starting to get a sense from people in this city that, yeah, they do want to celebrate and cheer for this organization again, as opposed to maybe 3-4 years ago?
Very much so. There are high expectations in Edmonton for this team, for all teams, but certainly when you've done as many things and had as much success as the Edmonton Elks and the Eskimos previously have had, you are held to your past, and that's a good thing. A lot of teams around, the world of sports would love to have the kind of record that we do here in Edmonton for this football team. So that's a challenge you accept, you embrace it, and it helps drive you forward. But I think that, people are anxious now for wins, success now. So this is, back to your original point, which is it is a bridge to the past, but looking very much to the future.
You and I have talked about the winning thing. We've geeked out on the other stuff, the accoutrement. I'm looking at the new logo behind us.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful logo.
How cool is it to work on a project like this, reconnect with this organization and do what you're doing, and what can people expect to see here?
Well, I think the first part, not to make any of this about me, but it's like coming home, and to be back in an area, the stadium, this dressing room, and around the brand. God, I hate that term, but I'm going to use it once, around the green and gold, and to work again with Evan Daum and Rick Lawlisher, people I've known for a long time. Rick and I go back to when he started in 2001. And I have immense respect for him, what he's done, not just with this team, but also with the BC Lions. So they're under great leadership right now. Solid, stable leadership to point them in the right direction. Now, the larger, you talk about the various elements. I mean, having the kickoff dinner, kickoff to 75 on June 6th, that is going to be a massive. It would be like a reunion, which it really is. The whole year is like a reunion, but that night we will celebrate. Ricky Ray's coming, Mike Riley is coming, Warren Moon is working with his schedule to make it work. We've got the Brian Kellys of the world who is here locally, but will be there as well, and we've got invites out to a number of people to help tell the story. This is a team that launched in 1949. Officially, football was played earlier than that. 1949, well, by 54, 55, 56, they won 3 Grey Cups in a row.
Right.
That's the first dynasty. Then, the 60s were a little bit of a, let's call it a quiet period.
You're being very nice right now.
It was a quiet period, and then the 70s, we know what came, starting in 75, and then the 5 in a row. 5 in a row, I mean, to win 1 is hard. 2 is really tough. Try imagining what 5 straight looks like. It's tough. And then 34 consecutive playoff appearances. That was a remarkable achievement that we were very proud of, when in my time here, because I was on the tail end of that. The dinner, and then we've got a special event on the Saturday, and then the season kickoff, and we're going to have a special halftime show.
Dave, you're like an Elks Eskimos encyclopedia yourself. Honestly, you know that, but have you learned some new things and some interesting little tidbits in the last little while about this franchise?
Oh, absolutely. Here today at the news conference, I was just looking at a team-signed football from 1954, which was signed in the dressing room after the 54 Grey Cup.
That's pretty cool.
That is very cool. And having Jack Parker Jr. here, and I'm looking at it with him, and looking at his father's signature, those sorts of things, and looking at some of the uniforms and it's those are the tangible things that you can touch and feel from that time, and seeing some of the video that conjures up some of those great players again. It's going to pull some heartstrings, which it should, and the emotions.
JMO, I know that you're busy on the alumni side, you're busy on the 75th anniversary side. pulling all the alumni together, and alumni is important. A lot of them stick around, like we heard, and we know because we see them in the community. Has this galvanized them? What are you sensing from the alumni?
Yes, the word galvanize is appropriate there because I think, in even just the event today and getting the guys out locally and trying to connect because people get on with their lives and they don't, they may not be an alumni member, like a paid member, and we have an alumni association here. We've had one since the mid-1980s, and we do a lot of work in the community. We do a lot of work around player support for helping former players in need. So to have an event like this really, I think, refocuses us as an alumni to say, hey, like what we do matters. We matter.
Yep.
And again, I think it deepens the connection with the club itself.
A couple new things around the stadium. I know we love this old barn, let's call it that. What are you looking forward to, and what can people look forward to in terms of creature features when they come down to a game this year?
Well, I think we'll start with the rebranding, a refresh of the quarterback club, which are those who know it. It's inside Gate 9, which is the busiest gate, the LRT gate.
Yep.
And it's going to have a new look reflective of this season, but something that is almost akin to a museum. Where you can go in and see some pieces that are really special. I know some of what they've got planned, and it's going to be really cool. You're going to want to get your picture taken next to some of this stuff.
Like that.
So, in addition, the tailgate is moving, the fan park experience. And, for those who haven't been out to Commonwealth and maybe experienced a game recently, I can tell you, and I went to the tailgate a lot last year.
I know, you were there with me.
And I maintain it's the DNA now of the fan base. You want to experience what Elk football is, what it means to people, get to the tailgate. So they've expanded that. They're also going to include the Jackie Parker rooms getting a bit of a refresh as well, the kids play area before the games, which is really important part of the fan experience, right? People talk about the next generation. Well, that's what we're talking about. Kids who come, boys and girls can experience what an Elks game is and how much fun they have. That's where the connective tissue begins to develop, right? So the other, what I'm looking forward to a great deal, Tom, is everybody on the lower deck and what an intimate atmosphere. It's a real challenge, even when, and I know from my time, you'd have a crowd of 37,212. That's a big crowd.
Yes.
But you're still looking at a cavernous stadium. So to have everybody down low, bunched together, I think is going to be a real atmosphere boost in here. So I'm looking forward to that.
Lots to look forward to. JMO, great work as always. You, Dahmer, and Hernan Salas, thanks for the time, and look forward to seeing you a lot around the stadium.
Good to see you again.